Dear students, let me talk about theoretical framework and conceptual framework. So, first of all, let me define what is theory. So, Carling and Lee 2000 define and explain the meaning of a theory very well as follows. A theory is a set of interrelated constructs, concepts, definitions, and propositions that present a systematic view of phenomena by specifying relations among variables with the purpose of explaining and predicting the phenomena. So if we look at this definition, we can find three things. Number one, a theory is a set of propositions consisting of defined and interrelated constructs. Second thing is a theory sets out the interrelations among a set of variables or constructs, and in so doing presents a systematic view of the phenomena described by the variables. And third things, a theory explains phenomena. It does so by specifying which variables are related to which variables and how they are related, thus enabling the researcher to predict from certain variables to certain other variables. So let me give you an example. This is an example of theoretical framework. This is theory of learned behavior. So this theory has 5 components. Number one, attitude toward act or behavior. Then second component is subjective norm. Third component is perceived behavioral control. Fourth component is behavioral intention, and last component is behavior. So this theory shows how all the components are interrelated, okay? So how they have interrelation among the constructs, okay? And also how they are related, okay? So this is an example of a theoretical framework. So if we need to keep in mind that the theoretical framework of our research proposal or thesis is not a summary of our own reflection about research, okay? So it is rather a synthesis of reflection of experts in your field of research, how they relate to your proposed research or thesis. You need to understand those theories and then use those theories to understand your data. Then also we need to keep in mind that we must understand what the experts in your field of study say about your research question, okay? Then about your problem you plan to study and some possible solutions or suggestions for solving the problem, including how to interpret the results of your data. Then keep in mind that the analysis and interpretation of data in any area of academic writings cannot be written as conversational dialogue. It must reflect rigor and academic skills. So your theoretical framework, if you develop your theoretical framework, will help you provide this rigor and these skills. Let's talk about the basic differences between theoretical and conceptual framework. So this table is adopted from Dr. Charles, okay? So let's look at the theoretical framework. Is a structure that summarizes concepts and theories which you develop from previously tested and published knowledge, which you synthesize to help you have a theoretical background or basis for your data analysis and interpretation of the meaning contained in your research data, okay? Then conceptual framework is a total logical orientation and association of anything and everything that forms the underlying thinking, structure, plans and practices and implementation of your inter-research project, okay? Again, the theoretical framework, according to Swanson, explicitly asserts that the theoretical framework is the structure that can hold or support a theory of a research study, while Rebich and Regan said that the conceptual framework comprises your thoughts on identification of the research topic, the problem to be investigated, the questions to be asked, the literature to be reviewed, the theories to be applied, the methodology you will use, the methods, procedures, and instruments, the data analysis and interpretation of findings, recommendations, and conclusions you will make. So the theoretical framework is only a little subset of the conceptual framework. We can give an example. According to Dr. Charles, that the conceptual framework is the house, okay, while the theoretical framework is but a room that serves a particular purpose in that house, okay. So the purpose of the room could, for example, be the kitchen, or living room, or bathroom, or bedroom, or garage, okay. So while each room has a unique purpose, no single room can serve all the functions that a house serves. So this example helps you to appreciate better why we can't use these two terms interchangeably, okay. Then the conceptual framework is thus the umbrella term relating to all the concepts and ideas that occupy your minds as you contemplate, plan, implement, and conclude your research project. Then also the conceptual framework could be the product of your own thinking about your research study, okay. The theoretical framework comprises other people's theoretical perspective that you interpret as relevant to your research, in particular helpful in your data analysis and interpretation, okay. So that is why the term conceptual framework is all inclusive, that trying to unpack it in your research proposal could be messy. But the theoretical framework is narrow one, okay, a specific one. Then let's talk about how to develop conceptual framework. Okay, so in order to develop a conceptual framework, so we can answer, we can ask ourselves to the following questions. Number one, what do you want to do in your research? So you can ask yourself the following questions, okay, in order to develop a conceptual framework. What do you want to do in your research? Number two, second question is, why do you want to do it? Then the third question, how do you plan to do it? Then the fourth question, how will you make meaning of the data? Then fifth question, which worldview will you locate your research in? Then the last question you can ask yourself, how will you report your findings? So in order to develop a conceptual framework, you can ask yourself these questions. Then, how to develop an effective theoretical framework, the suggestion given by Dr. Charles. There are some questions you need to ask yourself. Is there a theory that can help me to make sense of the meaning of the data that I will gather to answer the research questions? Then, are there theories that have been developed in the field of my research topic or in similar topics that might inform an understanding of my research question, my research problem, and my data analysis? Then the next question, what do experts in the field of my proposed research say about the problem I want to investigate? Then the next question you can ask, what do they say about the research question I want to investigate from theoretical perspective? Then the next question you can ask, what do they say are the key variables to be investigated? Then the next question you can ask, which assumptions, which definitions, and which propositions are in this leading scholars' theories and how can I make them explicitly relevant to my research question, to my research problems, and to my data analysis. Then there are many more questions, so you may go through all these questions. Okay, so this is an example of how to develop or how to draw a conceptual framework. You may look at this diagram, then it will give you a clear picture how to develop a conceptual framework. Then let's talk about the methodology which you should include in your research proposal. So first step is explain your methodological approach. So which methodological approach? Quantitative method. So for example, survey are based on measuring, ranking, categorizing, identifying pattern, and making generalizations. And for qualitative methods, example, interviews are the best for describing, interpreting, contextualizing, and gaining in-depth insight into a specific concept or phenomena. So also you can use mixed methods, allow for a combination of numerical measurement and in-depth exploration. Then second step, describe your methods of data collection. Quantitative method. If you use quantitative method, you can use survey, experiment, existing data from secondary sources. Then qualitative method, you can use, you can have interviews or focus group discussion, you can have participant observation, or you can use also existing data. Then step 3, describe your methods of analysis. Okay, so quantitative method, in quantitative research, your analysis will be based on numbers. In the method section, you might include how you prepared the data before analyzing it. For example, checking for missing data, removing outliers, transforming variables, and so on. Which software you are going to use, which statistical method you are going to use, and so on. For qualitative research, your analysis will be based on language, image, observation, often involving some form of textual analysis. Specific methods might include content analysis, thematic analysis, then discourse analysis. Then the fourth step, evaluate and justify your methodological choice. Your methodology should make the case for why you choose this particular method, especially if you did not take the most standard approach to your topic. Okay, so discuss why other methods were not suitable for your objective and show how this approach contributes new knowledge or understanding. Okay, then let's talk about the significance of the study, and you need to include in your research proposal expected outcomes and significance of the study. In simple terms, the significance of the study is basically the importance of your research. The significance of the study must be stated in your research proposal. While stating the significance, you must highlight how your research will be beneficial to the development of science and the society in general. Okay. Then talk about. Then also you need to write references, citation and text citation and references. So there are several different styles of referencing: APA, MLA, Oxford, Harvard, Chicago. So most preferably, I prefer to use APA for your research proposal. So let me tell you the structure of writing full research report. This will be helpful for your assignment too. So this is the structure you need to follow for your research paper. First, you need to write abstract, then introduction, literature review, method, result, discussion, conclusion, references, and appendixes. Okay, so this is the structure of your writing research report. Okay, which is your assignment 2. Hope all of you are clear today's lecture. If you have any confusion, please drop a message or ask me a question through WhatsApp or email or through a Spectrum. Okay, thank you very much. We end our discussion here.